Chitungwiza Arts Centre started in 1997. It was birthed through the program of our then Ministry of Education and Culture. It was funded by UNDP. Yeah, that was in 1997. And also our council donated this land that we have here. It's about 4 hectares of land to the artists to have a work and a marketplace for the sculptures that we do here, and also for the other genres of the artists, the performing artists, those who does painting, a lot of things. And also it was made, this project was made to help mainly school leavers then, and it was a pilot project, and they thought also maybe it won't go far, but it has gone now. We have now 26 years old now here. So basically what we do is we bring artists from the communities so that they'll come here, do their work. They sell the works here, and when we sell the sculptures, we take a 10% from the total sale of the sculptures. That is used to pay for the workers who work here, and also to pay for the other services like the rent to the council and the electricity bills. And that is what we do.
And you have how many sculptors here now?
And now for the membership, we are around 200. But those who work here, we are more than 250. Those who do their trades here. Yeah, I think it's a very good idea also to express ourselves. That is, I think the main thing about artists. We are instruments. We are people who always convey messages, whether the messages are good, but they are mainly for the educational purposes. I think for history, it will be good also that Chitungwiza Arts Centre will also be involved in making a sculpture that also represent the background of Africans, where we came from, all the wars that came upon us because of colonization and everything that came about. And we are also happy that we are also alive also to come and also make those sculptures to show that we are here, we have survived, and we are happy to be alive again. And also we are also happy to work with all other artists from the UK and other countries, so that we come up and show that the world that we can do things together without these other things like racism and other things. We are just people all together, despite what covers us. The skins are not a barrier to us. We are all humans, and we have seen it also that some people may despise the other people who also colonize others. But sometimes you can also see that currently in our countries, as African countries, some of our leaders has also inherited the trends, or maybe they've been taken the education of the other oppressors also to oppress others. So that just shows that our skin doesn't matter. Evil knows no man. It can be done by anyone. So we are here to do good. If you do good, the great things also follow you. That is my take on it, and we are also ready to take part in the creation of the sculpture that will go to the church, or maybe that will be taken alongside the Rhodes statue.
So I'm very delighted to be here at Chitungwiza Arts Centre. Finally, it looks like things are maybe going to come into being. So I'm the founder of the Oxford Zimbabwe Arts Partnership, which was created when there was all the controversy in Oxford about the Rhodes statue on the High Street on the Oriel College building. And with a team of friends and colleagues in Oxford, we thought instead of talking just about taking it down or whatever, why don't we do something more positive and see if we can commission a sculpture from Zimbabwe, particularly here from Chitungwiza Arts Centre, as to tell the story of the people, the indigenous people that ultimately enabled Cecil Rhodes and the British Empire to gather all the wealth that is there now in Oxford and was part of Cecil Rhodes' his company and De Beers and so on. Why don't we at least do some small token of recognition that the story here with the indigenous people of what became Rhodesia and now Zimbabwe, the Shona people, the Ndebele people, all the peoples of this region, to tell a little bit of that story through an artwork that's been commissioned from here. So the brief that we're now working on, which with the University Church, St Mary's, in the High Street, so that's directly opposite the Rhodes sculpture on the High Street. We're now talking about an exhibition to be held there in the church, where the centerpiece will be an artistic response to that whole history and the history of the violence that Rhodes's forces and the British South Africa Company committed in this country, and the suffering of the indigenous people here. So what the brief is to capture some spirit of that, perhaps illustrating a mother with a child or a couple of children. Ultimately it'll be up to what artists respond here. And we've had a little discussion here with the committee and the elders of the Arts Centre to explain the intention and the purpose behind the whole project, and to see if they can actually somehow bring out some of the spirit of their ancestors who, yes, suffered through that period but have survived and are now thriving, as we can see here, and in many ways.
Let me say colonization was not good, and I'm happy that we survived it and we are independent now. And my feeling is to go forward, and because technically I believe in self-sustenance, so whatever we need to do now is to be included in the global world and find and do what is practicable to Zimbabwe, or what is applicable to Zimbabwe. Because whether we have been colonized before, but my belief is we still need each other. The colonizers need us, and we need them because we are living in the same village. After having inherited art from my father, I was later on inspired by the late John Takawira, but since then I had gone it alone, so I'm technically self-taught. And what inspires me most is everyday life. I usually talk about family life, I talk about couples, I also talk about spiritual things, and sometimes I also talk about nature. And when I'm doing my art, I sometimes use the stock bed to express myself. I'll be working birds, but talking about real life. And I've been working here at Chitungwiza Arts Centre since 1997 when it was started, and I've seen it grow up to today with the young guys keeping me going. And I have learned a lot since then. And the fact that usually when I'm working, I don't really put it on paper to say I'm going to work like this, but it's about the shape of the stone, trying to find out what is in the stone. Then from there, the sculpture evolves.
Basa rangu nderekuveza matombo. Ndoshanda nematombo. Ndakanyanya kurerekera kuveza mvuu. Asi ndinovezawo zvimwe zvakasiyana siyana, shiri, mafigures ndinobatawo. Right, inspiration yangu inini kunyanya ndinonyanyoiwana mumatombo imomo. But from back ndakadzidza kubva kumba kwedu kwandakabva. Ndoranga riri basa rababa vangu nemabrothers nevanin'ina vavo vaiveza matombo. Ndokwandakanyanyowana inspiration yekuveza matombo. Asi kana ndaamuno ndaini muridzi zvandaakuchiita ndiri ndega, ndakunyanyoshanda nematombo ndichiwana inspiration padombo randine ndakatarisa. Ndopanozouya kuveza zvinhu zvakati siyane siyane. Kuti since munhu iri competition panofanira kunge pachigazetwa prize kuti first prize ichi, kana paine second prize, paine third prize. I think izvo zvinomotivata kuti munhu unyasoshanda wakasununguka uchiziva kuti chandiri kusiyira basa rangu remazuva ese chine mubayiro unondikoshera. Ndo mafungiro andoita panyaya yeprize. Zvinhu zvakatorwa isi tinongoziva kuti kana munhu watora chinhu chisiri chako unofanira kuchidzosera kumuridzi. Saka kana paine zvakatorwa zvisina kutengeswa, zvisina kubvumirana, ndechingotarisira kuti zvinofanira kudzokera kwazvakafanira kunge zvichidzokera kuvaridzi vezvinhu.
It will be a traditional Zimbabwean stone sculpture that we're expecting to commission from here, and I've worked closely with one of the most elder and senior sculptors here called Norbert Shamuyarira, and we decided jointly, rather than him just producing a piece, it might be a nicer idea to encourage the younger generation of artists. So what we're envisaging is to have a competition of a number of artists from here, and hopefully we'll be able to pay a participation fee for all of those that take part. We may have to restrict the numbers, and then the winner, we'd pay the value of their piece, and hopefully if we can raise the funds and make the arrangements and get the visa, we'll have that artist come to Oxford for the unveiling of the piece and the opening of any exhibition that we hold there. And we're hoping also just that this will generate publicity and more discussion and acceptance of the history of the relations between the two countries, and particularly between the connections between Oxford and Cecil Rhodes and what is now Zimbabwe. That it'll generate some discussion both in Oxford and across the UK and here in Zimbabwe, and perhaps even wider, because this is a story of global significance, of course.